Welcome back, everybody. We're interviewing Pat O'Hare, but don't kill him. He's looking a little green around the gills. No. Where were we? We were in New York.
We were in New York.
Bunker, yeah. Okay.
And I stayed up there for whatever time they said I had to stay for the airplane tickets.
Okay, so it was like a little contract job.
Yeah, I had to stay for a certain length of time, and I knew Oceanside would pick back up in a couple months. So they also paid for Linda's Way, and
oh, very nice. So
yeah, so
pretty good deal.
That's that's where she found out she was pregnant.
Really?
Up there, yeah.
Okay.
With Sean.
Oh, okay.
And I was a little shocked. She was shocked, and we had planned to go to France, really, and shape over there.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
I mean, you know how you are when you're young, you think you can do whatever.
Well,
let's go to
France.
France.
You do, yeah. Let's go to Australia. Let's go.
So, Hawkins laughed the whole time I was there after that, because he had 2 kids,
He knew.
Yeah, he knew, yeah.
He knew what was coming.
You
didn't.
No. And he was a really great shaper, and he was shaping by the hour, which really irritated the hell out of me.
Now, why would that be the case? Did he shape slow?
No, because it was New York. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he stayed relative to the amount of pay he was making. But me and Hawkins were in there one Saturday. I was trying to do as many boards as I could do, which, being relatively lazy, I fell off of that after 2 weeks, You
were being paid by the shape?
By the piece,
okay.
Yeah. And they had just gotten Rodney Sumter.
Rodney Sumter from England, right?
From England, yeah. Yeah, but they were saying he was from Australia at first. Kind of like Kelly being from San Clemente or something like that.
They do that so people will spend more money, don't they?
I don't know why they do that.
They do that, though.
That's that California structure where the own.
This is our stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's our guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
but he wasn't.
No. And he let me know right away, which is okay. I said, I don't care where you're from, Rodney. And he was a super guy. Anyway, we were in there one Saturday. His first Saturday there, he wanted to start out on a Saturday, which I thought was odd. But then I'm thinking, being devious. Why is he want to start?
What's he up to?
So me and Hawkins came in too, and we were there was like 3 or 4 shaping stalls. So I got in one, and Hawkins got in one. They had, I think they even had air conditioning up in New York.
How nice.
Yeah, I never worked in that, but it was winter time, so we didn't need it.
Maybe they just left the door open.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm in one room working, Hawkins in another room working, and we could hear Rodney working in, because he had the planer on, but he never turned the planer off. And almost at the same time, I'm going, I've already roughed like 2 or 3 boards, and I'm going, I wonder what he's doing. And I open my door, it just says Hawkins does too, and I said, what's going on?
What's he doing over there?
And so we knock on the door, because it's a plane here, we don't want him to, hurt himself.
Yeah.
And he opens the door, and I said, what are you doing, Rodney? He says, I'm shaping. I use a Sureform, and I said, oh, I've been there.
Okay.
I've been there.
Hey, bless his heart, he was just getting into it.
Yeah, but they had brought him from Puerto Rico after winning the world contest, and of course Rodney, being Rodney, told him, yeah, I
can do this. I was going to say, he represented Great Britain in the world contest.
Yeah.
Right?
I think he won the world contest.
No, that's the one that Hemmings won, to great controversy.
Oh, really?
68. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you
my
could be right.
correct there.
Because Sean, that's when we found out Sean was coming.
Yeah, Hemmings won it, and everybody hated that because.
And I read an article about him. He went the way that would get the most points.
And apparently the rules were set up for the length of ride and the number of turns.
That's why he's a politician.
And the Australians,
Yeah.
Nat Young and Wayne Lynch, apparently surfed better than anybody, and there was great indignation.
But somehow Rodney was #1 surfer for the points over the year or something.
He did good. He was.
Yeah, he was, and he was. I mean, he was something else, you know.
Yeah,
And
never got the pleasure
anyway,
to meet him.
me and Hawkins spent the day teaching him the shape
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so.
because he knew what he wanted to do.
He knew what the shape was going to look like when it was done.
Yeah, but he didn't know how to.
How do I arrive at that with this
Yeah.
tool?
Yeah.
Oh, and that's.
Yeah.
Now, has this story ever been anywhere? Do we know?
No, not that I know of
Oh,
it.
look out.
I
Rodney,
asked-
we're sorry.
Hawkins has kept up with Rodney over the years, has written
Okay.
and stuff. And Rodney came down here to see me, but
Oh.
I wasn't here.
Oh,
I mean,
you missed him.
I was in California with Freddie Grosswright.
Right.
We went.
Another bounce to California.
Once again, I said I
that a lot.
didn't, but I did.
Ooh.
He dropped me off at my parents' house, and he went to see whoever he was going to see and surf. You know.
Okay. Let's get back into the shaping.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So we spent the day teaching him, and after that, he made a decent board. You know. He knew what he wanted to make, what type of board he wanted to make.
That's
and
so neat.
Yeah, it was neat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from then on, when you're shaping, you can hear the correct sounds in the background.
Yeah, it wasn't. It didn't. It turned, the planer turned off. You did turn that off, right?
Oh, that's funny, funny. And everybody did it that way back then. You just walked in and said, "Yeah, I'm the guy. I can do this,"
I could do it.
and
yeah.
they did it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
nobody seemed to ever get in trouble, or nothing terrible ever happened.
Well,
A missed finger,
Yeah.
notwithstanding.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, and he had the ability to do it. I heard that he's a sports commentator in England now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. England's got a big surf culture now.
And he's chubby. He's a little bit on the chubby
Well,
side.
everybody gets old, and most of them seem to get a little.
Yes, we do.
Greg Knoll comes to mind.
Anyway, before I left to come back, two stories. One is Linda came there and stayed there, and we never saw so much television in our life because they had like 50 channels or something like that. I think we still had 3
New
or
York.
4 down here. You
New
know,
York.
it was like, and
Yeah, down here it was 2, 6, and 9. That's
I
it.
think that's
That was
it. Yeah.
That's all you got.
And he's telling me, and he was everywhere we went, they'd buy him drinks because he's English, right?
Oh, he
And not
played
me.
guitar.
Not me. Oh yeah, he brought his guitar with
Oh.
him, and I'm going to use. So. And they never ever bought me one. I should have cut
Should
it.
have stole
Yes.
his. He'd get another one.
But it was, we had great fun, and he used to tell me stories about it. He says, you know, I got so famous, people stealing things from me. I mean, they're all stealing my stuff, and I said, that's sad, man. And so the day I left, I was packing my stuff, and I'm looking at Rodney's stuff, and so I hid everything he owned. Everything he owned. He said it took him 2 days to find it all.
Oh man, that wasn't nice.
Well, I was thinking, you know, because he's so famous.
If you're so famous, they're stealing.
And he called me and said, you son of a bitch.
Did he
You.
ever get you back?
Well, I think that's why he came here, to get me back. But I wasn't
He
here.
was looking for you. And you ran. You knew he was coming.
I didn't know he was coming, or I might not have went. But
Oh, that's terrible. I shouldn't talk that way. That's not nice.
I actually, like you said, just getting up and going. I went to Oceanside to get my check, and Freddie came in and said, hey, Freddie, what's up? He says, I'm leaving for California. And I got my check, and I'm going, can I ride with you? So I went home and left most of my money with Linda and Sean, and took what I needed to get right there.
That's enough. Coming back will take care of itself.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
And that's,
No, and I knew he was coming back. He said, I'll come back and get you, which he did after
Okay.
a length of time. And I got this shape again for Greg.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And,
You got a thing going with Greg Knoll.
oh yeah, Greg's always been good to me.
Yeah, you do. You're lucky that
Yeah.
way. Very lucky.
but I left on a bad note again.
Again?
Because
Surfing's full of those
he gave me the head shaping job at this time going in.
Number one guy.
And it was because of Dave Ronk, a friend of mine from California.
Right.
He was the manager. So I said,
job.
and I was thinking, it's a good idea. This is a good idea. So I called Linda. I said we could. I don't know what's going on with that.
That's all right. Keep talking. No,
Okay.
So you called Linda.
So I called Linda and said, "Why don't you move out here and we'll get a place out here?" And she said no. She wanted to be by her mother. I'm transgressing again once more because
Go for it. Digress as far as you need to die.
Sean hadn't been born yet, and she wanted to be by her mother
Okay.
to have Sean. So
Yeah, this is a mother to be.
yeah.
So
So I shaped there for 3 weeks or a month, and I had to go in and tell Dave I was leaving
Oh, and this is after he'd gone to some trouble to set it up.
to set it up. Yeah, and the head shaper was. Every time I saw him, I thought we were going to fight. The ex head shaper. So I went down. I knew where he surfed because I surfed the same place, and I can't remember the guy's name, but I went down and said, "Hey, I got to go back to Florida if you want that job. I'm sure it's yours."
Oh.
So he went up there and got it. I'm
And
sure.
did some fences and.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And actually, I didn't want the head shaping job. I just wanted a job, but there was no job without taking his, I
All
guess.
the responsibility and pain with that. Okay.
Yeah, head shaping, anything, manager. You're just the whipping post of
Yes.
pretty much what you are.
Whoever's really
And
pulling the puppet
I've
strings.
tried to stay away from that.
I'm not good with that either. I've never
No.
been good at those. And they always want to push you up into these positions for something.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you're our guy. You'll have all control. You never do.
Yeah.
They never let you.
So when I got back, Sean was born, and things were pretty good for us. We were making money,
This is now we're back in Cocoa Beach.
We're
and
back in Cocoa
Are we selling
Beach.
O'Hare, or are we still working at Oceanside?
Oh no, I didn't sell my boards for probably. It was too hard too expensive to build them because I had no place to.
Right. Okay.
Or maybe that was just me being.
Or you just didn't feel like all of
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I worked for Oceanside, and then
Did you ever know a guy named Harold Lang?
the name sounds familiar,
He
but
was on their team. He lived in our neighborhood when I was growing up, and he was like Harold Lang.
oh yeah,
But I don't know. I don't know of anybody I've crossed paths with
that
knew
knows him.
Yeah, he lived on the corner, and he had like kind of an orange 3-stringer longboard, and it had Oceanside on it in foot-high letters, kind of psychedelic letters,
Yeah.
like a poster in Frisco or something. This is
He
probably
was a
60.
local surfer that surfed for him.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people that do know him. Where did you live in?
South Patrick
Oh,
Shores.
oh.
So I'm thinking maybe you probably shaped his boards. May have.
No, I think he probably. Johnny Rice probably shaped it.
Okay.
I was doing all the Oceanside boards.
Yeah, this is Oceanside. This is.
Well, they were all Oceanside, but there was a specific
Oh, okay.
board that he did. I did, like I said, all of Ron John's boards.
But you
Which I
weren't the
thought
ding
was
repair guy
no.
anymore. Oh man.
And John Rice and me and Bob Tome.
Tolman Reeves.
Yes.
I remember that name.
Yes.
I've never met the gentleman.
I've met him. He's a nice guy. He was the other shaper there.
That's right after boards got short. Was when Tolman Reeves.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So we were doing close to 20 a day, I guess.
Wow, production.
I was doing 8. I was doing the big V bottoms.
The wide back V bottom.
Oh, I loved that board. I thought it was fun.
No way. You like
Just-
those?
Yeah, it was just so sloppy and
Oh,
stuff. You
I
could just-
hated them with a passion.
I loved them.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they not have an awful lot of 9 and 10-foot slugs of foam laying around that just lent themselves perfectly to having a saw taken to the?
No, when I came back from Barbados the second time, I went to Lynn's to have breakfast, and that's all they had on top of their cars.
Yeah, I remember. For a little while there, it was.
Yeah, I mean, guys that were having breakfast there.
Yeah,
you know what I
Young
mean?
and McTavish.
Yeah.
But the boards themselves, I've heard sometimes from certain quarters that a lot of those boards were made because they had these long blanks and they knew they couldn't get rid of them, so they just whacked the tail off the blank and made the big square back V.
Oh, they did make the big square back V, but it lasted longer than that, and I don't think there was the manufacturers that had that.
Okay,
It was the foam people that had those blanks.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I did cut off a 2 foot of board
Okay.
to make
yeah,
a 7 and
yeah.
8 foot.
And this is obscure
V-bar.
history, so it's
Yeah.
good that this is
Yeah.
a neat thing to learn about.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think it was like Oceanside Billy Feinberg that had the blanks. I think it was more like Clark Foam had the blanks,
Okay.
or Walker. I'm not sure who he used. I can't remember.
and we've got to work these blanks somehow. So,
Yeah.
and that's how it was done. Then that's,
And they gave them to him at a good price, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
But we stayed with him for a while, and the only bad V-bottom they made was the pointed tail V-bottom,
Pintail Deep V.
because it just sucked water.
I didn't like any of the V. To this day,
Oh.
I don't like V in a surfboard. To this day, I still
Oh, you don't like any V?
V to me equals,
I think V enhances the board, but we're all different
We're
people.
all different.
I know somebody who puts a concave in every board.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty regressive that way. V bottom to me is spin out on the bottom turn.
Well, you just get a deeper fin. Put a deeper
They
fin
don't
in
make
there.
them that deep.
And then maybe you turn harder than I do.
Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't. But I remember watching guys like the McRoberts brothers murder it on those V bottoms.
Oh yeah.
Murder it.
And there was a V that got to be too much, and that was that spiral V.
That was another thing. I bet that was fun to shape too.
It was, except for one thing. Once the spiral V went away, I couldn't not make a V without it spiraling for about a year. I'm going, what the heck?
Oh man!
Yeah, and I don't know why to this day, but I finally got away from it.
You just get things in you and they
Yeah.
don't come out. Yeah.
And
that was a short period of time. That only lasted a year or so.
that lasted about a year. Yeah.
And then it was washed away. And,
Yeah.
and anything that we can learn from you about what that was like from the inside is great stuff.
Bring the V back.
No! No!
No, I don't
do
think
it.
so either, because it's a sloppy board, but it was fun.
Okay.
It was fun.
Okay. That's all right. And you were making. Oh yeah.
And I enjoyed riding them for the time that I rode it.
Australians put that on everybody, and they all.
And then boards went to, like, I don't know if it was before or after, was like Claudie's board, the Butterfly was a good wide beach board that was short.
Kind of like with a flatter bottom and the tail.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, there was no deep V in it. It was just a nice, the Butterfly
The
was.
Weber Feather was that kind of a board, was it not?
Yeah, I think it was.
Kind of. Maury Pope made a thing called the Camel.
The Camel, you know who that was for? Bob, he was a sander for Yater at one time, and then he went with another company. Well known.
Bob Cooper.
Yeah.
Bob Cooper.
Yes.
The Blue Machine was the
Was that
Bob Cooper board.
And that was done by who was?
That was also Maury Pope.
Yeah, Maury Pope.
Yeah. A guy I grew up with in the neighborhood had a Blue Machine.
Yeah.
And then boards got short, and that was the end of that. And the Camel was the. Okay.
And the Peck Penetrator was there too. You like that?
That's my board.
I
board.
never liked that. I liked Nose Riders, but I didn't like. His nose went down. I felt like it went down and just like hovered there.
John Peck was right.
Oh well, John Peck was good. He was
crazy
demented.
as a bedbug.
Yeah.
He's got papers to prove it. He's on
Well,
disability.
he was trying to keep away from the government.
Well, he did a fine job.
He got caught up in that. you know.
Heavily out in Hawaii.
What are those
The Brotherhood.
about the gun?
Those guys.
There's a man with a gun over there. Paranoia. Paranoia runs.
Oh, but
See.
yeah.
Yeah. You get stoned and listen to that
you
song.
can see why I wouldn't like the V-bottom if I did like things like a.
Yeah, no, I could see that. Yeah.
Very,
But-
user unfriendly.
Yeah, but the Australians liked the V-bottom too, and they rode
They
hell
were the
out of it.
first one.
Yeah, he won the world championship on the V-bottom. Nat Young
Nat
did
Young in San
in
Diego.
Oceanside. Yeah. Yeah.
Ocean Beach.
You know what?
Ocean Beach.
One day of that contest, it was a 3-day contest.
Were you out there?
No,
Okay.
but I sponsored Tommy to go out there.
Yay.
He won the first day of the contest.
He had accumulated enough points he could have gone home or something. Is that?
No, he had won the first day. George Easley's the one that told me that. Tommy didn't. Tommy
Okay.
wouldn't do that. Tommy's not, you know.
Okay. Young blew everybody out of the water.
Yeah, he did, but the first day he didn't. Tommy held his
Ah,
own with
okay.
all those guys.
Okay.
And then he did blow him out of the water because he could do so many more things with his board than anybody else. I mean,
Yeah, that's when everybody was expecting Nueva to be the great savior.
well, they were thinking that
Didn't
Nueva
happen.
would be. No, because the surfing community got bored with the nose riding thing. That's what had happened. Not that he wasn't doing good; he was doing good.
He surfed. Yeah,
Yeah, but
those were interesting times.
yeah, and Tommy rode a board that was more beach orientated, not nose rider like David was riding.
This is Tommy
McRoberts.
McRoberts. Yeah, McRoberts brothers.
And
Yeah.
he was such a pretty surfer. He did such a good job in the water.
How many of those brothers were there? There was like 5 of them or something.
There
wasn't
was 4.
4. Okay.
Four.
And they all
Chucky.
surf good.
Chucky, Benji, Tommy.
Benji was the one I'm trying to think. He was a
Benji
little
was
one,
great, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that about the story I told you about. That he had won the contest in his group, and then they had him resurf again because
Oh, that. Yeah, yeah. The political influence.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate side effect of surf contests.
Yeah. Oh, so many. Sean, my son, I saw so many times that he told him his heat's going to be later, not to worry. You know,
Yeah.
not to worry.
Not to worry. We'll take. Oh, we're sorry you weren't there. So.
We had to have it. We had to run it. Yeah. So much of that goes on. That's sad.
It's unfortunate that they try so hard to win. It has nothing to do with surfing. Don't get me going.
No.
Bad subject. Okay, so you're in Oceanside. Boards are getting short. You're shaping V-bottoms, which you liked.
Well, I got, yeah, but after that contest, I think I got away from that.
And where did it go next? Then what happened?
They were more stable, normal boards, more beach-style boards, like, what was the spoiler?
The Oceanside, that was a longboard, the spoiler. That was the step deck, as I recall,
Yeah.
That was another thing I never understood. Okay, I bought that Jacobs from your shop after you, and I bought a Model A from Shay Sharp's Surfboards Hawaii shop 2 weeks before, which was a step deck, and in 2 weeks' time I'd learned I got to get rid of this thing.
Right. Well, it wasn't so much a step deck as it was kind of like the Peck Penetrator. You had the 3.
It had that, it had that funny-looking Model A 3-stringer thing. But it had knife rails.
Yeah, it did, especially up front.
I got hurt.
Well,
the knife rails hurt me.
It was too. The trouble with all those boards, to me, they'd send those boards out from California. They weren't made for Florida waves. That was my take on it.
Edwards surfed boards with knife rails, didn't he?
But he surfed California, and he was great, and so did Mike Henson. And so did Donald Takayama at one time, and then he went to I guess, you shape, hopefully not, somewhat, according to your ability, and Donald surfed good for his whole life.
Yes.
I got to a point where I can't surf, so I try to emulate the classic longboard, but modernize it, which you
do well. In a way, it's kind of like Bob Strickland, who kept shaping, even though you never saw him in the water anymore, and the shapes worked.
Right. Well, he went out occasionally. I saw him out there occasionally, but he had a real stiff style, I thought, And I'm not trying to put Bob down, because he was a great shaper. As far as his mechanics, I thought he was the best I've ever been around,
Really
But all shapers, myself included, always think there's the best. I mean,
you have to, or otherwise you can't do it.
Because you think what you're doing is important.
Is right.
Yep.
Yeah.
even if you have to change it from time to time.
Hey, a little change here is we'll make it better.
I did that once or twice myself.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like football. The coach doesn't run around on the field with the ball. They'll kill him if he did.
No, yeah, right.
But he's the coach.
He's the coach.
Yeah,
And if you follow football, it's changed over the years. It's never been the same thing.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
like surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps, so yeah.
It
so
just goes in a big vicious cycle.
with emphasis on the word vicious.
Yes. Yes. And surfing today doesn't resemble anything about the surfing of my era or your era.
No relationship.
No. But it makes my era, when I watch it, sometimes seem odd.
You look at the movies and you're going, we used to think those guys were hot.
What happened?
And you're like, God, those guys, he
What
can't
happened?
surf.
Yeah.
What?
So it does. It transforms. And then, I always thought I would understand what people do in a wave, and even to this modern day.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can, but I know now watching surfing, it'll get to a point where I can't.
You can't.
And I'm going to be one of those old guys that go, that's not surfing.
I was we used to.
We had leather helmets. We were good.
No pads. Funny. The neat thing about surfing, though, is all the stuff that got left behind didn't go away.
No, it didn't.
It's still with us.
It's still with us. And you know what? I think the people that are responsible for that and should get commended for it is the Hawaiians.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Hawaiians. Thank you, Pat O'Hare, for saying that.
No, they stayed with their tradition. Yeah. At least some of the older Hawaiians and didn't go down, which I did. I went down to I went down to 5'7". I couldn't ride it,
I remember that.
it was insane for me.
I went to 5'1".
Yeah, and it was just
Shortest I ever
nuts.
got.
And I threw my board on the beach. Luckily, I lived right there, but I went back to a 7-foot board, 7'6", that I could surf. Because I felt if I shouldn't be shaping if I can't surf. I don't feel that way now that I can't.
Well, that's lucky
But that's
for us
because
because you're still shaping.
But because I can't surf's not my fault.
No.
Mentally, it's my fault. Physically.
Physically, yeah. Let that go.
This isn't vodka, okay? This is just
We
water.
won't, he says it's water,
It is.
and we believe him.
It's been. I've had my day.
And he's not getting any more loquacious as he continues to sip that water. But it's interesting, the tradition part and all of it. A lot of people use it as an excuse to ride these big clunky boards and just grab waves. But there's guys out there that make it look good.
Oh, there are.
Joel Tudor comes to mind
Joel does, yeah. Joel.
as a stylist.
I have a bad kind of.
Tell me a story.
Me and Joel, not together. We were together in the Legends thing that they had at the Surf Expo.
Okay, this is the expo in
Yeah.
Orlando. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know how long ago, quite a while
A few
ago
years.
though. And we're looking at a balsa board that I had in there that Skip Savage had put in there for me.
Was it a shape by O'Hare?
Yeah, it was old. I'd done years and years ago, and Joel says I didn't know who Joel was because the last pictures I saw of him, he was about that big.
He grew up.
Surfing with Wingnut,
He grew up.
He did grow up, and he says that's what I like, that traditional board, with with whatever he's talking about, and
Oh, nice.
and I said, well, we have come a little ways since then. We have been able to modernize that. And Joel actually said that himself later on in a thing I saw. He coined the word, kind of him and Donald did, the modern classic longboard.
Yes, which is a
Yeah.
little different than what the Hawaiians were riding in the 50s.
Right, in which we were riding in the 50s and 60s. I got a 50 or 60s board there, and I'm going, what were we thinking?
What were we thinking?
And guys were riding the nose on that.
They were tearing it up on these things.
Rick Irons and Torrance was and Paul Strow in Hawaii.
Paul Strow, the chief,
Oh,
Strow 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what it was originally called.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a story about him too.
Tell me a Paul Strow story. Oh, please.
Me and Paul and Robert August and a couple other people. I got a picture of us as a group are going out at Michael Antonio's
Where
to
is this?
surf. It's up. I think it's north of Jaco.
Okay. The national park in Costa Rica. I didn't know if you were in California or somewhere else.
No, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
And yeah, Miguel and
Michael
okay.
Antonio's, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Bunch of little monkeys up there. There's 1,000 monkeys in the
Things
trees.
will rip your arms
Yeah. And but after one beer, you don't really care.
You don't care. Okay.
So, but we hadn't had a beer yet, though. We went out surfing there, and on the way out, Robert says, "So what do you want me to do? What do you want me to see me do?" And I said, "Do a Paul Strow 5." And he goes, "Fuck you."
What did Paul have to say?
He was already out in the water.
Oh, he didn't get to hear it.
He didn't get to
Oh, I'm sure it would have cracked him up.
Yeah.
Robert didn't do one?
No, that upset him. Why? It didn't upset him. He goofed, you know. And there was a little bar on the beach there. So after surfing for about a half an hour, Paul says, "I think I'll go in and have a beer there." And I said, "That's a good idea." So I went and had a beer, and then with him, and then we went back out. And then I'm thinking, I might have another beer. It's getting a little choppy. So I have another beer, and then I'm back out in the water, and then I get out, and I'm standing on the beach, and Bing Copeland is sitting there. He says, "What's it like surfing drunk?" I go, "Fuck you."
Jab, jab, jab. That's how you do it.
And at that time, this leads into another story about
Yes.
Dora.
Oh, a Dora story. Okay.
He was there, and
What year is this, roughly?
this was 92.
Okay, 92.
Wasn't it 92? Yeah,
I do not know.
yeah, it was 92.
Before my
91 and 92, I went out there.
Okay.
And
Dora.
Dora he had sold his whatever we got some kind of plaque. Actually, that plaque up there. See that plaque?
Yeah,
Pole.
yeah. I'm going to go read it. I'm going to go, keep talking. No, keep
Okay.
telling people a story. They're listening and so am I. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is it right here.
Yeah.
91, August 4. Okay, bang, looking at it.
Yeah, that's 91 then, I guess, because
So
Dora went to both.
Dora did what?
Went to 91 and 92.
Okay,
He was
to
there
two of
both.
them. All right.
Paul couldn't go to 92. I don't know why.
Okay.
And
So Dora's hustling his trophy.
he's hustling his trophy. And I had to use the bathroom there, and I said, "Mickey, why don't you quit this shit? You're getting a little old for this."
Now, were you serious when you said
Yeah,
that?
I
okay,
was,
you were
because-
serious. Okay, not a joke.
Because of Greg. I felt like he was
A little less than fully respectful
dissing
towards
him. Yeah,
okay.
I mean, come on, you owe him something.
Okay, I'm sure Greg paid his way there and all
Oh,
that.
of course he did.
Yeah, yeah.
And Dora, being Dora's Dora, and I just, of course, I had 3 beers. I wasn't drunk yet, okay?
But you were willing to talk.
Yeah, and I said that. I actually felt bad about that later because he was my biggest hero. Really growing up, Dora was the man. And but I just felt like there's a time that you have to step away from that individual.
But putting on the persona when you
Yeah,
get
the
every
persona.
morning.
It's like, to me, it's like going to the surf expo. Some of those guys are still.
That's how they make money.
Yeah, I guess, but it doesn't work for me,
I don't see how it works. Yeah, but I guess if that's all you've got, you're.
And I think Dora was legitimately out there that way. I mean, he couldn't help who he was.
Trapped?
He was trapped. He even said
that's
that in
bad.
that one article that, what can I do?
Yeah.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
That was his career choice, and that's all he had.
So.
What did he say when you said that?
He didn't say anything.
Did he look at you funny?
No.
Nothing.
Not that I remember.
That
I had
mask
3
never
beers.
cracked, though, did it?
No.
He never.
No,
That
no.
mask was always
Always
perfect.
there.
Yeah.
And
Scary.
and I did take a ride with him in a cab, and we talked for a little bit. You know, there was no real animosity. I didn't feel.
You
was-
didn't say it in an animal.
No.
Yeah.
No, and we talked and got out of the cab, and I didn't see him again. We went to one of the bars there that's real well known, and
Costa Rica's well endowed with
Yeah.
that. The Beetle Bar in Jaco. Let's not go
well, yeah, this is in San Jose.
there. Oh, you're back in town.
Yeah, the next day we left because we got our trophies. Now that trophy, me and Paul Straw that you picked up, it's a bowl. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And we're looking at bowls and stuff to pick up to take home, and I went, "This is where
I've already got one."
This is where Greg got this, isn't it?" And Paul starts laughing. I mean, if you can't have fun when you're there, you know.
What's the point? Yeah, you gotta have fun.
And I think it was.
Oh, so what else could it be? It's like
Laura probably picked him out, you know.
these are good.
Yeah, this will work.
We'll have
And they had the little plaques already.
those
and
were set up, and all
glued
we
them
need
in
some
there.
glue and a guy to stick it on.
Right, and it worked.
That's great. I love it. All right, everybody. Pat's been talking for a long time.
Yeah.
He's got miles and miles more to go, but we're going to break now and come back with Pat as soon as we can. Pat, thanks for the time. Thanks for the
You're welcome.
stories. We're looking forward to more.